the DOC director, talking about his people this week on Mitchell Talks, the News 9 Sessions with Aaron Brilbeck. And good morning, Aaron Brilbeck. Good morning, Mr. Albaugh.
Yes,
Good to see you, sir. I saw
Brilbeck.
you in the news the other day. You and Bill Barr together in Washington, a picture. You know Bill Barr.
I do.
Maybe you were there in Washington with a president at one time.
I was.
Yeah.
At least one.
At least one.
At least one.
So
Four,
early-
really, but that's okay. We're not counting.
Give or take. Early on in the session, we were talking about how the focus on the session is going to be criminal justice reform. We were painfully wrong. We're not seeing a whole lot of movement on that. We did see this past week, for the first time, something that resembles a pay increase for corrections officers passed out of committee.
Only.
And the reason for that is, the justification behind it is that they're on the front lines, their job's more dangerous, so they're going to get a, drum roll please, whopping $2 more per hour.
Yeah, not much, but they're not the only ones behind the wire. I've got food staff, kitchen staff that's behind the wire, unit managers, case managers that handle the 27,000. I've got dental staff, I've got medical staff. I mean, it's crazy. Just to single out one particular group, which does not help with morale when someone gets a pay raise like the teachers did last year. We have 86 teachers in our system and supporting staff. They all got the teachers' pay raise, and we have unit managers, case managers, CEOs working side by side in those programs with them. How do you think they feel? Morale is in the tank, and it's all about pay. And it seems as if we're doing our best to run off our most experienced individuals, being slammed by the baby boomer retiring, and the millennials don't want to work. They want to be on TV. They want to watch TV. That's my current fight right now. They want to take those cell phones inside. We can't. We've got enough cell phones that cause problems inside with our contraband. So it's all about the people. It really is. I appreciate the effort on criminal justice reform, but I have no idea where anybody is. I have high hopes for 780, but that's only representing about 500 people that possibly could get out.
And you're bringing those in every day.
And we're bringing in at least 160 men a week and, 40 to 50 women a week.
I would just like to ask one question. Where are you in terms of, if you had the right amount of staffing, how many people would you have, but where are you currently?
We're the second largest agency when it comes to employees, and we're down 1,000 correctional officers. We're about between 4,200 and 4,300 individuals for all of the various bicycle spokes that keep this wheel turning.
How many corrections officers do you have?
Let's see, this morning I checked 1,413. I throw in the cadets, which adds another 250 or so. At all levels, cadets through chiefs, it's 1,676. So I need another 1,000. Most of our facilities are running 12-hour shifts. We have a couple of facilities doing 12-hour shifts, 5 and 6 days a week. And that leads to all kinds of stress. They take it home, they don't have time to decompress. The pressure on family life is virtually non-existent, and it's not right to put these men and women in this situation because it causes problems.
Problems including you've had a number of suicides.
We sure have. We've had a lot of accidents, and it's not only the staff it happens to inmates because we have robbed them of their hope.
Now, it's important to note, your corrections officers are starting at $13.74 an hour.
That's correct.
They're getting paid less than folks who work at gas stations, folks who work at Walmart, folks who deliver pizzas.
Right.
And the job consists of dealing with oftentimes very angry,
Frustrated.
very mean, very frustrated inmates.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that inmate frustration that we're seeing.
It's tough. It's a big rumor mill because they have cell phones that I'm trying to interdict. They're up to date on the news because of these devices. They know what's going on. They know how poor our staffing levels are. They know how understaffed and overworked our people are. And they know they're underpaid. So that gives an opportunity, for example, out at Sayre at North Fork, the North Fork Correctional Facility. We struggled last week to get 17 officers on a 12-hour day shift for 2,300 knuckleheads. And those folks, the inmates on the yard, they know that. So it's like pushing on a balloon what they can get away with, and they get away with a lot. Plus, that also puts pressure on the correctional officers not to be as stringent. Sometimes they're pressed to look the other way on somebody having a cell phone or a cigarette or even K2 or now fentanyl's the range, and we're having people die left and right on fentanyl. But we don't get any traction because we're one of those agencies that's out of sight, out of mind. As long as we don't have a riot, nothing's going to happen. State of Alabama was just slammed with a consent decree in that notice by the Justice Department, you could take the word Alabama out and insert the word Oklahoma, and it'd be identically the same. This week, I think the legislature set aside $40 million to hire 500 correctional officers. That would be great. I'm frustrated going to the legislature asking for money because every time I walk in, they say, well, here's old Fat Joe, he just wants money. No, I want to save our people. I want to save their lives. I want to save our inmates' lives with more programs. 92% of our population is going to get out to live next door to you and me. And we all want better inmates to become good citizens. And with that, we know how to handle the 8%. Those are the hardened convicts that should not be on the street, should not be anywhere in society. And my frustration is a reflection of the frustration of our department at all levels.
This is going to break at some point.
Yes, sir. It about broke last weekend in Lawton, where we had two gangs, the Serranos and the Savage Boys, duke it out for almost 15 minutes, and there was virtually no response because the officers didn't know what to do. And a lot of people hurt. I think 9 really hurt, stabbed, cut. Just you look at the video and they're just getting punched. And I'm watching this thing going, where are the officers? Where's the response? I'm really upset about it, to tell the truth. It's a private facility, which we need those 2,600 beds in Lawton, but the only way I can impact their behavior is to sanction them financially. They're supposed to follow our operational procedures and protocols, but most of the times the privates don't. I just don't. I don't have any patience for the privates. The state should step up and provide the beds for those individuals who break our laws and are sentenced with whatever term they're going to have. But we ought to be responsible for those individuals.
But when you sanction those privates, what do?
They appeal, they bellyache, they scream, they go to the legislature. You know, I refused to up the per diem last year for GEO, which operates the Lawton facility out of Boca Raton, Florida. I don't have anything against capitalism and for-profit entities, but I hate the fact that it's happening on the back of the Oklahoma taxpayer. I despise it. So GEO went to the legislature after I said no, and guess what happened? They caved in. So now this year, I warned them, Core Civic, the other operator, who has 2 major facilities in our state, is asking for the same thing, which just cost us more money, the taxpayer. And it's kind of a vicious cycle that we need to break. I am excited about the new governor. Only met him one time. I am impressed with the passion and the ideas, thinking outside the box of particularly the 2 cabinet secretaries I deal with, Chip Keating, public safety, and David Ostro on the technical side, the digital side. I mean, they're thinking about things that I've been talking about for a long time, and it's not that hard to do. One of the basic things is we only pay one time a month. You're making $13.74 a month. I mean, a week, an hour. $13.74 an hour. It's hard to make ends meet when you get paid once a month, just because the bureaucracy can't find a way to have two paychecks in a month. Yet it would cost us a full pay period to make that happen, according to OMES. That blew David Ostro's mind. because PeopleSoft is not up to date, and that's the software that all state agencies have to use on the HR side with all employees.
Didn't that come out with DOS? Just kidding.
DOS?
Yeah, it's an
You know, it may have been a part of the Dawes Commission. Yes, I think you're right.
Here's a quick question that when I just look at and listen to what you're saying, which I have before. Yesterday on your vote counts, we heard Leader Eccles, we heard Representative Duncan. I hear everybody's frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. And you look around and go, well, why is everybody frustrated? Isn't somebody going to lead? Maybe we can't lead. And I also ask, here's the second question. Number one is, what can be done? Number two is, the media doing a good job of covering what your folks are going through?
They're responsive. In other words, they're not proactive enough, I think. I know you've been very proactive, probably more proactive than any other station in town or in the state, to tell the truth. Well, I'm just calling them as I see them. That'll tick off the other stations, and
Everybody's
they
watching
won't.
them.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but my job is to call everything as I see them, because we seem to be number one in all the wrong categories in Oklahoma. Until we get away from looking about the future of Oklahoma 12 years at a time, we're going to continue to struggle. We're losing our young people left and right. When I was a kid in north central Oklahoma on the farm, people were talking about, what are we going to do to keep people, in Kay County? Otherwise, they're going to go to Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Now the problem is, what in the hell are we going to do in Oklahoma to keep people from going to other states? And we're losing that battle. There seems to be no vision 30, 40, 50 years down the road. That's what we need.
Journal Record did a story this week. More people are leaving than are coming in.
I haven't seen that. Is that right? When did that come out?
Early in the week.
Is
Yeah.
there a leadership problem at the Capitol?
I don't know. I'm not there every day. There just seems to be, as you alluded to, or one of you alluded to earlier, frustration on both sides. Aren't you hearing my bill? If you don't hear my bill, I'm not going to hear your bill. What kind of leadership is that? I don't get it. Governor Stitt is drinking water from a fire hose, trying to understand how 147 state agencies operate. We have way too many state agencies. I don't understand why we don't have a sunset commission in this state. Many states do, run 5, 6 years. They come in and justify. I don't know why we're outsourcing an agency's responsibility to other agencies. I mean, what's the point of doing that? I'm paying OMES $13, $14 million a year for some kind of service that I don't think we ever see. I mean,
There's no doubt that's being looked at
it's
real hard.
It's a big fight. I met with Secretary Budd yesterday. We had a great relationship talking about our IT problems and challenges. We don't have an IT staff because they gobbled everybody up years ago, and I have to call an 800 number to make sure that if a shaker fence or a stun fence goes down, well, we can make an appointment for them for a week from Wednesday. Well, hell, I have to take people off the line and post them, and then I have fewer people inside the facility taking care of the knuckleheads. There's a couple of places where I have one correctional officer for 240 individuals.
It's insane.
It's pitiful. Somebody's going to get killed, as it has happened the last several years in other states.
We got about 1 minute. What is the legislature working on right now that you're watching? And are we going to see anything this session?
It's all about the budget. It's all about the money. Show me the money, because that will help my recruitment. It will help my retention. It might slow the mass exodus of the baby boomers who have the experience, that gray matter in their head that I cannot replace. 73% of our correctional officers have been with us less than 5 years. That is a recipe for disaster. Good people, men and women, they go through the 8-week academy. We train them to the best of our ability, but it bothers me to no end. That's why I look like hell, and I don't sleep at night. I worry about the lives of those employees in our system, behind the wire especially.
Well, you look great. You look like Joe Albaugh.
That's easy for you to say.
My last question. for many years, if you wanted a flat top, you went to Lindsay, Oklahoma. Billy Mitchell was where you got your flat top. He's been retired for some time now. Hi, Dad. If you get a flat top today, where does one go get?
I go to Off Base out by Tinker, 29th and Sooner Road, Southeast 29th and Sooner Road. Two great people there. What
We
more
do
you
this
want?
for. We're doing.
I used to go to we were in D.C. I used to go to 8th and I across from the Marine Corps barracks. Get a good one there. It's
This
very
is
tough
great.
to get a flat top. Of course, it's evolving into a round top these days.
It looks great. And now we've done our public service for barbers who we love in Oklahoma.
Off
Joe
Base,
Albaugh.
Southeast 29th and Sooner.
You'll never hear that anyplace else, right, Aaron?
Never.
Yeah, he's not worried about it. He's not going to go there.
I might. You never know.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right,
Director,
guys.
for being here. Thank you,
See ya.
Mr. Philbeck. See this again at news9.com/Your Vote Counts. And please follow me, Scott Mitchell, on Twitter @MitchellTalks.